Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight episode for UFC 216, Ferguson versus Lee, one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time. At the very least, one of the greatest pay-per-views of this calendar year, hands down. Every fight on the main card was awesome, top to bottom. You had good guys, bad guys. Anyhow, make it sound like a Batman movie, I guess. But yeah, wow. This event was just so amazing. The main event was for the interim UFC lightweight championship of the world, and then the co-main event was for the flyweight championship of the world. So let's get started with there's a post-fight rundown of the main card, and let's get started. So the main event was for the UFC Interim Lightweight Championship of the World. Tony El Cucuy Ferguson, my boy from Team Lesnar, an Ultimate Fighter, and a Brock Lesnar protege. And I'm a big Tony fan from day one. Man, his career has just been phenomenal to keep tabs on. Great fights throughout his whole career. And yeah, so he won submission, triangle choke, round 3. It was phenomenal. One of the greatest fights you've ever seen in your whole life. Kevin Lee narrowly almost won in the first round. At the tail end, he was in the guard of Tony Ferguson and pouncing on him, and it was crazy. I was on the edge of my seat. I was scared. I didn't know what to think. I was like, oh boy, oh. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Anyhow, yeah. So what can I say? Yeah, it was. It was just such a great fight. Oh man, this fight was. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch a replay. Round 3 submission triangle choke win for Tony Ferguson, who is your new UFC interim lightweight champion of the world. And we'll see down the line if he goes after Conor and unifies the belt, or the belt's just given to Tony if Conor doesn't defend the belt, or what happens. So that'll be interesting to see. And I'll see how Kevin Lee bounces back from this loss, because I think he will be back. Then in the co-main event for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World, we had Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson versus Ray Borg. Demetrius looking to break the all-time record for most consecutive title defenses at 11. Set a new world record. Previous one was set by Anderson Silva at 10, and like I've said in previous episodes, in my opinion, GSP's technically at 10, because if you count one interim title defense and then 9 title defenses after that, it's 10. 1 plus 9 is 10. But anyways, so Demetrius Johnson gets a big win here. He just blew Ray Borg out of the water in every round. It was complete one-sided domination. And then he tops off with submission armbar in the 5th and final round. And he jumped on him and sank in for the armbar. It was pretty crazy. You got to watch a replay of the finish to just be like, was that real? I mean, really, it was so intense. I was just livid. I couldn't believe it. Demetrius Johnson is hands down one of the greatest fighters of all time in the sport. Really interesting to see where Demetrius goes here. I hope he fights the winner of Cejudo and Pettis, Sergio Pettis, that is. And wow, that's what I want to see. I want to see Demetrius I want to see, as a fan, Demetrius just keep defending the flyweight title as many times as he can, and just see how far he can go. I mean, maybe he'll just keep defending until he retires. We don't know. But, I mean, he's defended that belt quite a bit. And, it was an amazing fight. Significant strikes, was insanely lopsided in favor of Demetrius Johnson. And, this was a great fight. Submission armbar, round 5 win for Demetrius Johnson. Then, in the heavyweight division, we had Fabricio Verdum facing short notice replacement Walt Harris, because Derek Lewis had to cancel bout of this matchup due to injuries. And Walt Harris stepped in short notice and Mark Godbeer got taken off the card because Walt Harris was originally supposed to fight Mark Godbeer on the Fight Pass prelims. And Fabricio Verdum just basically took Walt Harris down, submission armbar in the first round in 1 minute and 5 seconds. It was pretty ecstatic. Then Fabricio Verdum is definitely in title mix right now for the heavyweight championship of the world, ranked in the top 5 with ease. And and his last fight against Overeem was really debatable on who may have won that fight. But yeah, nonetheless, some good stuff for Fabricio Verdum in the near future, hopefully. Then in the women's flyweight division, we had Mara Romero Borella versus Kalindra Faria, and these are two newbies in the UFC essentially. And submission rear naked choke, round 1, 2 minutes 54 seconds for Mara. Mara did a great job. I mean, she sunk in that rear naked choke like a true submission artist that she is. And people that were watching the fight with me were just shocked because she submitted a Brazilian with ease. People didn't see that coming, but yeah, Mara is a talent to look out for in the women's flyweight division. Yeah, this 125-pound women's weight class is looking pretty interesting right now. I'm pretty excited to see where it goes, especially with the current season Ultimate Fighter going on, and we're going to find out who the champ is by the end of the season. Yeah, then to kick off the main card in the lightweight clash, we had Beneil Dariush versus Evan Dunham. I picked Beneil Dariush on my pre-fight show by, I believe, knockout. Shocked this went to a draw. Evan Dunham's really revigorated his career. And Beneil Dariush, he's hit and miss, and he just needs to find some rhythm with his wins and string up a couple wins, and he'll be back on track. But yeah, this was a majority draw, 29-28, and then 28-28 and 28-28. Exciting fight. I was on the edge of my seat with this one. Same thing with the Lando Venata and Bobby Green fight. Went to a draw, on the edge of my seat on that one, and that was on the prelims. And this entire pay-per-view was just, again, amazing. If you haven't seen this pay-per-view, watch replay as soon as you can. A lot of talent was on this card. A lot of high-profile fighters. I mean, Verdum, Johnson, Ferguson. It's a talent-stacked card and with some big names on it. And also, I love the tribute to the UFC did to the victims of the tragedy in Las Vegas. I'm glad they were able to pay tribute to the first responders and be there for support for the victims. And on behalf of my YouTube channel, Nate's MMA Corner, and my other show, Nate's Corner, thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to the people involved that were victims of that terrible tragedy. Yeah, hopefully they make a recovery and are able to get back together. However, whatever is needed. And yeah, anyhow, so that wraps up Nate's MMA Corner for tonight. And stay tuned in the coming days for my pre-fight for Cerrone versus Till. And until then, I will see ya.